Hey y'all! So, let's talk about some relic balance, or the perhaps lack thereof in regards to the Nightlord Relics that you get. So, throughout Nightreign, as I'm sure all of you know, or most of you, there are various static relics you get that any Nightfarer can equip. Be it you receive relics from doing a character's quest, and thus you get the remembrance relics for the characters, of which a lot of them are frankly really good, such as the Wilder Earring. And you can also receive unique relics from defeating the various Night Lords and their Everdark versions. We're just going to go in order, starting with Tricephalos. So, the Tricephalos Knight of the Beast gives you the stamina recovery upon landing attacks +1, and starting armament inflicts fire damage. This is the only Nightlord relic that is a medium. And it's decent. I mean, for when you get this, which is going to be the very beginning of your journey through the game, you can't go wrong with it. Stamina recovery upon landing attacks +1 is actually really good, especially if you stack it with the normal version, the +0 version, which would give you a total of +5 stamina recovery upon landing attacks, which is frankly nuts, but I think that's a bit overboard. This one, it's fine, but you'll quickly replace it. So the Everdark version of this relic, the Dark Knight of the Beast, is much better. You still get the stamina recovery upon landing attacks +1, but you also get taking attacks, improves attack power, and improved fire attack +2. This, I think, is really good on characters like Raider and Undertaker, because they can definitely benefit from the +1 version of stamina recovery upon landing attacks. And they are characters that, more often than the other characters, want to be trading hits with enemies. So taking attacks improves attack power is generally great for them because they do a lot of hit trading. And the fire attack up +2, I mean, if you have a fire build going, it is pretty good. Other than that, it's kind of whatever, but I think this is it's a solid relic. Next, we got Knight of the Baron, which you acquire from defeating good old Adele, and this has improved critical hits +1, critical hits fills more of the arc gauge, and critical hits boosts stamina recovery speed. Well, if you're doing a crit build, yeah, this is pretty solid to do. Critical hits fills more of the arc gauge is kinda whatever. Critical hits boost stamina recovery is very nice, especially on characters like Raider, Wilder, or Executor. And improved crits +1 gives you a +23% damage increase for all your critical hits. But I think the vastly better one is the Dark Knight of the Baron, which has improved critical hits +1 and the normal improved critical hits. So this total will give you unless my math is off, 41% increase to all critical damage. And you can also stack this with the other critical hits you can get on different relics as well, because critical hits on a relic stacks no matter what. The +1 version doesn't, but the regular version does, so you can get some really crazy crit damage like that. Critical hits earn runes is very whatever though. This is a glorified medium. If this had critical hits boost stamina recovery speed on it as well, this would have been a ridiculous relic. But as it stands, it's very good, but it could be way better. Next, we have Knight of the Wise, acquired from defeating Sentient Pest, and this increases your maximum FP, makes your starting armament inflict poison, and gives you a poison and rot vicinity buff. This is pretty good if you're doing a status build. I like to run this on a Poison Iron Eye or maybe a Frost Poison Duchess build, or you can run this on Executor as well and do a triple status build with him. This is a pretty solid relic, I think. It's a bit niche. Most of the Nightfarers, I don't think really want this on their build, but you can do some really cool stuff with it. Whereas a Dark Knight of the Wise, now this one is more dedicated toward casters, where the normal one, I would say, is more geared towards status builds. So this still increases your maximum FP restore upon successive attacks, but the main one here is maximum FP increased for each Sorcerer's Rise unlocked. That stacking with the increased maximum FP as well. So this is really good if you're doing a Mage Duchess build, for instance, but you can use this on Revenant and Recluse as well. They're just not really going to be benefiting too heavily from the successive attack restore FP, Unless if y'all Revenant and Recluse players that y'all know something I don't, which you probably do. But this, I think, is amazing for casters until you get something better. And now we got Knight of the Fathom, acquired from Augur, and the first one increases your maximum HP, so this gives you plus 100 HP flat. It's not percentage, meaning that this essentially gives you a Vigor plus 5, which is very solid. Flask also heals allies, decent, and items confer effect to nearby allies. This is great if you're playing a more supportive role, so I would slot this on a character like Scholar, for instance. But really, the main highlight here, I think, is more HP. The level Vigor memes in Elden Ring aren't a meme for no reason. More HP is always good. So that's why Dark Knight of the Fathom is, I think, even better, as you still get the HP boost of 100, and you get continuous HP recovery and slowly restore HP for self and nearby allies when your HP is low. And this, I used to run the Dark Knight of the Fathom for a while, and it proved fairly invaluable even on a character like Duchess, who, like, she's a bit squishier than some of the other characters, but her having that extra HP and the HP recovery really, it made me tank hits that normally she would have got KO'd from otherwise, right? So more HP, always a good thing. If you are unsure of what relic to slot into a build, you're like, man, what do I do? What do I put here? Dark Knight of the Fathom. It is a good old comfort blanket relic that I think is just one of the best in the game. And now we have the funny ones. Knight of the Demon, which you get from defeating Libra. Huge rune discount for shop purchases while on expedition. Okay. Gesture cross legs builds up madness. And madness continually restores FP. This is bad. I mean, unless if someone has found a cracked build that I am not aware of, both this and the Everdark version, for that matter, just aren't that good. The Everdark version has taking attacks improves attack power, and then the other two effects from the normal version. You're better off just running Dark Knight of the Beast if you want that taking attacks improves attack power, because then at least you're getting improved stamina recovery upon landing attacks +1. You have to wait so long. At first, you have to have Madness proc on you, which deletes your FP, and then you get FP recovery, and it's like, why? Once again, Libra, perfectly balanced, right? I think his boss fights are peak, but his relics are abysmal. Maybe this is what he wanted. Maybe this is what Libra wanted all along. Knight of the Champion, acquired from defeating Fulgor. This gives you increased maximum stamina, which increases your stamina by +10. If you don't know, a +3 endurance gives you an additional 6 stamina points. So this essentially is very similar to how Dark Knight of the Fathom works, where the +100 HP, this is giving you that equivalent but in stamina. Guard counter is given a boost based on current HP, and HP restore upon thrusting counterattack. This, I think, is perfect for Guardian. If you have a relic that you just counter wounding with the slot on Guardian, you don't really have anything too good at the particular point that you're at, throw this on them. I think this is a very solid one to run on Guardian for at least a while, until you get stuff better. Now, what is a really good relic? I think this is one of the best Nightlord relics, and it's the Dark Knight of the Champion. Increased maximum stamina does the same thing. Boosts attack power of added affinity attacks, and defeating enemies fills more of the arc gauge. I love to run this on Wilder, if I can, because he's definitely going to find great swords that have affinity attacks. If you have his fire follow-up move from his hook shot, that's an affinity attack. And defeating enemies fills more of the arc gauge is something that he especially always wants. The more Wilder can spam Onslaught Stake, the better. And of course, increase maximum stamina. Wilder is using great swords, which are stamina-hungry weapon classes, so perfect for him. Perfect slotting for him. It is also great on characters like Raider and as well as Guardian. You can make this relic work on basically every character you would want to do melee with. This could also work very well on Recluse or Revenant, as they're also doing affinity attacks as well. Really, it's so solid for the entire cast, which is why I personally rate it so highly. Moving on to Caligo's relics, Knight of the Miasma. This gives you Frostbite and Vicinity Conceal Self, changes armament skill to Chilling Mist, and attack power up when facing Frostbite afflicted enemy. This one is very solid for status build. So you're running double status Executor, or you're running Duchess with status, which I like to do a lot. This is such a good relic for both of those characters, really. The Frostbite Conceal Self can help if you need to be a bit stealthy, especially in solo play. Having Chilling Mist as your starting armament skill is very solid, and of course you may as well deal more damage whenever Frostbite procs. So for status builds, this is quite good. Now, Dark Knight of the Miasma, I think, is kind of interesting because it's unique in that it gives you improved physical damage negation. Now, this boosts your character's physical damage negation by 10%, which is nice. You still have the Frostbite Vicinity Conceal Self, and instead of having Chilling Mist, this offers you a different method of going at it where your armament inflicts frost. So this allows you to do stuff like a Frost Bloodblade build fairly consistently. And I think this is a very good relic to run on numerous characters, but it can depend. Like if you're running this in a team comp and you have this on, say, like Raider, who is a tankier character, you want him to be having some of that aggro from the characters who aren't as tanky, then that can kind of mess things up for them, you know? So I feel it's very Nightfarer dependent, but it is a very nice relic. Next, we have Knight of the Lord, acquired from Heolspa. Alright, switching weapons adds affinity attack, boosts attack power of added affinity attacks. That's a mouthful. Switching weapons boosts attack power. So this one, I think, is one of the weirdest ones in the game, but it is quite good if you can make the build around it. The characters I've seen use this more than others, in my personal experience, are both Iron Eye and Duchess. And Iron Eye, well, it's really simple. He can just switch his weapons around and keep using his bow to get those attacks from distance. And Duchess, this is a must-have if you're doing a Elementalist build on her, which is very solid for her dagger play. Beyond that, though, you really do need other relics to help facilitate this, like having extra affinity on deep relics and whatnot, to really make this truly worth using, in my opinion. It's not a bad relic by any stretch, it's just pretty niche, I think. Now, moving on to the DLC Nightlord Relics, we have Will of the Balancers. Oh boy, yeah, okay, listen, it's double balancers. Most of you don't need me to go in detail with this, but improved melee attack power, improved skill attack power, continuous HP recovery. This is very solid for Ash of War builds, as we definitely know. And the Will of Balance, the Everdark version, is basically the same thing, but with an even better third effect where occasionally nullify attacks when damage negation is lowered. Now, this, to my knowledge of how this works, I believe this is how this works, where if your character has any kind of debuff going on, so say for instance you're playing Deep at Night and you pick up a weapon that has attacks impaired on occasion or damage increased by Night's encroachment, that applies to the condition of this final effect. And what this effect does is that occasionally, exactly a 20% chance, if an attack hits you, there is a chance that you just won't receive any damage. It's as if you got the lucky effect from Paper Mario or Final Fantasy, right? Like the attack just effectively misses you. The game gives you a freebie. Like, actually, you didn't get hit just now. And obviously that's very strong. But the main reason why these duo of relics are so strong is that not only do they stack with each other, but it's the fact that they stack with each other that just makes them so ridiculous because the skill attack power. Like, for instance, I can't double dip on the Fulgor relics and get a plus 20 increase to my endurance. So why can't I stack both of these together, right? Double balancer builds are... I'm not going to make this a rant about double balancer builds. I'm not going to make this a rant about double balancer builds. Double balancers, I think, in theory, are a really cool idea to have. And really, if you don't want to do a double balancer build, you could slot either of these two in as a third slot on your core relics, and it will be a great pick. Like, these are the best static relics in the game, bar none, by far. I think no contest. But many would argue that they are too strong. But that's a whole other topic, I feel like. So I'm stopping it now. I'm stopping this one here. Just go on to the next one. And on to our final Nightlord Relic. We have Night of Dregs, which you get from defeating Dreglord. And this allows your attacks to inflict rot when damage is taken. Rot in the vicinity causes continuous HP recovery, and the main allure of this relic is status ailment gauges slowly increases attack power. Now this has a range between level 1 and level 10. And it can take you about, I believe it's 3 minutes to reach level 10. How it works is so long as a status bar is on your screen, and the more that it builds up, or I think it's just the more that it's on your screen, over the course of 20-ish seconds, your character will get another boosted attack buff. And this can stack up to 10 as long as that status ailment bar is on your screen. Now, what I've seen some players do, such as Executor, they will pair this with the Seppuku skill to damage Executor, which procs his tenacity passive, and if you have something on your deep relic that says poison or rot when below max HP, that will start to build up on your screen. Thus, so long as that status bar is there, you are getting that increased damage. So that's the idea. It's kind of a glass cannon type of relic, but from what I've seen of it, it can be pretty strong. I think it's very weird and very niche, but I think it's also really, really unique. So I gotta give it points for that. Do I think it's one of the best in the game? I mean, personally, right now, no, but I mean, yeah, I haven't used it that much personally, so hey, I could be converted. I would love to be converted. As it stands for me right now, though, it's definitely one of, if not even the most unique relic in the game, but its usefulness, I think, is pending. It's definitely very cool and it has a use, but I think I just need to see more of it in action. And that about wraps it up. Thank you all so much for staying until the end. And as always, if you enjoy content like this, love to see more from me, consider hitting that like button and subscribing to this little channel of mine here, as I do plan on doing more videos like this, as well as digging into other stuff. I always appreciate it, and I will see y'all in the next video. Adios.